All right, a happy Sunday evening. Greetings from Los Angeles. I can actually hear the music coming out of the what's it called? Crypto.com arena, home of the Grammys on a Sunday night. Hopefully everyone is good. I am not well rested. I flew out here and I am like on 3 hours sleep and I look like crap. But all is good otherwise. So we've got a trade deadline week. De'Aaron Fox finds a new home in San Antonio. Zach LaVine goes to Sacramento. Package of players: Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter to Chicago. We will go through the semantics of the trade. I don't do who wins, who losses. I don't give grades. I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's start a little bit with let's go with San Antonio. We'll go Sac, and then we'll kind of finish up with Chicago. Listen, San Antonio. I went on TV and I said, this is what I would want if I was Sacramento. Stefan Castle and Keldon Johnson, neither of those players are involved. Certainly, Sacramento prioritized the pick package. I give San Antonio a lot of credit based on showing restraint. The hardest thing to do at the deadline is showing restraint, especially for a player that wants to be there in De'Aaron Fox, and you have all these draft picks already to basically say, like, here, take what we want. I give the Spurs a lot of credit in this deal to basically get De'Aaron Fox, not touch any of your core players, and still have enough draft assets involved going forward where you are. Fox has 2 years left on his contract. I'm just gonna read, just go on my phone here because I don't have a second screen because I'm in my hotel room. Hold on one second. Fox has 2 years left on his contract, 34-8 and 37-1. He is renegotiation eligible this offseason. We wrote about it. If the Spurs have cap space, they can bump up his contract to 46 and then extend him out for 4 years, $229 million. I would certainly pay attention as far as for that this upcoming summer. They can do it August 2nd, August 3rd, based on when the trade happens. If they have cap space, if he is just extension eligible, it's the four for 229. Certainly can increase to four for 239 ish, somewhere around there. Jordan McLaughlin's on an expiring contract, $2.1 million. You look at the picks that went out, the 2025 Charlotte pick, which was top 14 protected, that's going to turn into 2 seconds in 2026 and 27. Unprotected San Antonio, unprotected Minnesota in 2031. Three different seconds that went out. San Antonio is still in really good shape. They still have those two Atlanta picks in 2025 and 2027. That's unprotected. They've got swap rights with the Hawks in 2026. They've got swap rights in the next 4 years. But after that, I know I'm like all over the place here, but I'm trying to give you the right information here. Here, and they've got certainly swaps at the end, 2028, 29. Um, I don't know. If we get back to that, I'll explain it. But they've got a ton of swap rights that have basically have they still have. They still have the flexibility to go out and do some work and get a third guy because they still have the sell. They still have Keldon Johnson. They still have, certainly Stefan Castle. The interesting for me, what happens with Chris Paul? That's going to be the big thing. Hasn't missed a game. What happens with Chris Paul's role now, with now De'Aaron Fox coming to San Antonio to start and everything like that. That's for me is oh, here it is. Swap rights with Atlanta in 26, swap rights with Boston in 28, swap rights with the more favorable Dallas and Minnesota in 30, and swap rights with Sacramento in 31. I would have wanted to get that Sacramento, and we're going to talk about the Kings in a minute. I would want to get that eliminated. That was, and I'll talk about the Kings in a minute here. So all in all, really good job from San Antonio's perspective as far as showing restraint in the deal. Kudos to them. And now they get Fox, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the season here. and then a certainly extension eligible. For Sacramento, I thought they did pretty well. I'm not going to lie, based on the conversations I had over the weekend with certainly some other teams, I thought they were getting the poo-poo platter of players. I really did. I thought it was going to be like there was going to be like a major revolt in Sacramento here. I went on with Deuce and Mo, who have a terrific podcast out in Sacramento, and I basically kind of gave the State of the Union address in Sacramento. I would recommend you guys go listening to that. And when you look at it, Zach LaVine is having a heck of a year, like a heck of a year. He should have been considered certainly for an all-star. We're not going to go into the all-star process here. Um, he was basically damaged goods a year ago. Chicago, I've said it, Chicago basically tried giving him away. Um, the direction now is going to be, and I said this, if you're in Sacramento and you're the front office, like you just have to be upfront with those fans. Like tell them what we're doing. All right, we've got LaVine, we've got Malik Monk, we've got Keegan Murray, we still have DeMar DeRozan. What's going to happen with DeMar DeRozan now? You got to figure that out. We still have Domantas Sabonis, who's running point guard. But all in all, considering where they are, you get Zach LaVine, you get a 2027 unprotected first from San Antonio, you get a 2031 unprotected first from Minnesota, and you get 5 seconds. I know they got a first from Charlotte, but that's going to turn into a second. And you get 5 seconds. You get the Chicago second in 25, Denver's in 28. You get your own back, and you get two from Charlotte in 26 and 27. And you still have some flexibility here. All in all, a good package. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to give you the State of the Union address. How do you put yourself in a position if you're in Sacramento where things like this don't happen? Where guys who are supposed to be the face of your franchise and De'Aaron Fox want to spend the rest of their life or their career in Sacramento. And De'Aaron Fox did not ask to be traded. However, there were no indications that De'Aaron Fox would sign a long-term extension this offseason. And if you're Sacramento, you're thinking, all right, let's get ahead of this here right now. And that's what they did with this trade. What are you going to do with those draft picks? What's your next move? Who's your point guard? Is it Malik Monk? Are you going to run Monk, LaVine, DeRozan, Sabonis, and Keegan Murray? Okay. You still have some things you need to go out and fix. But all in all, I thought you did a pretty good job. LaVine adjusted his trade bonus. He had a $9+ million trade bonus. He reduced it down to 3. His cap hit, you add 1.5 million each year, 44.5, 47.5. He's got a player option in the third year that remains unchanged. Extension eligible this I believe this off season here that we'll write about that down the road here, but extension eligible here. All in all, City Sadosco, 1.9 million. He was part of the deal coming from San Antonio. Got some roster spots available. So all in all, I thought you did. I thought, considering the circumstances, you did a good job. I would have loved to just say, you know what, we're going to leverage the crap out of De'Aaron Fox, and we're going to make San Antonio basically up the ante as far as what we want to do. And I get it. I'm not there, but I went through it in New Jersey with Darren Williams, and we basically leveraged the hell out of the Knicks to make them basically give everything for Carmelo Anthony. And I would have said also, hey, we're not going to trade you. And if we do, it's going to be in the summer, but this is going to be what our asking point is. And it feels like basically, certainly Sacramento said, you know what, we need to get this resolved and let's do our best to get what we can. And you certainly get Zach LaVine in the 2 first 5 seconds as part of the trade. I get it. I'm not giving grades, but I understand why from Sacramento's perspective, why it happened. Chicago. Okay. This is their first trade they've made in a regular season since 2021. We've all been on them about basically pick a direction. What are you going to do? Are you going to bottom out and just be bad and rebuild through the draft, or are you basically going to settle and basically be in the middle? And they've certainly picked a direction with this trade here. I'm not gonna do the tap dance as far as this is terrible. I'm hearing it from people. I'm hearing it because I'm the one who went on TV. You're going to pick a direction, man. Like, what are we doing? You get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and Kevin Herter, 3 role players. Certainly, Trey Jones is a starter level player. Okay. Um, Collins, 16-7, 18-1. He's a free agent in 26. Herter, 16-8, 18 million, free agent in 26. Trey Jones, which is an interesting piece for me at 9.1, free agent. Where does Trey Jones fit in when you have Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, Io, Javon Carter? Can you flip him somewhere else and maybe get a couple draft picks? That's the big thing. You still have flexibility. You created a trade exception. Same with Sacramento. What do you do next as far as with some of these pieces that you came, especially Trey Jones? I don't see anything with Collins and Kevin Herter. That's going to be the interesting thing. You get your 2025 pick back from San Antonio. So now you could be bad and not worrying about kind of hanging around. It was top 10 protected. You get that back, and now you basically you control your own first for the next 7 years, and you can bottom out and try to rebuild this roster however way you go. We'll see what happens with Vooch. He certainly is going to be probably the next guy on the move with this, because there's no reason to keep him around here. You got to hit your draft picks, kids. You got to hit your draft picks. That's going to be the most important things. But this could be a long and ugly rebuild in Chicago here. But I get it. I understand moving LaVine, getting your pick back, getting 3 players. As I said, let's see what happens with Trey Jones in the future. That is what we got. We'll get what the trade exceptions are eventually when we have it. Looks like Sacramento and Chicago are going to create 2 big ones. All in all, I get it from all 3 scenarios. I know the grades are probably not going to be great. I mean, I saw that Pelton grade last night and that for that Laker grade and looked like a Dallas grade looked like my grade from Marist my freshman year. Holy golly, geez. And that is it. We will talk soon. Thanks, everyone. NBA on the